In Episode 2 of Easygoing Territory Defense by the Optimistic Lord, as the group travels toward the village, Vaughn casually reveals that he has been experimenting with production magic. Till and Compson acknowledge his aptitude, though Vaughn himself is unsure how useful it can truly be. When they near their destination, Vaughn gives Compson the option to leave and return to the Marquis' manor, even offering to nullify his slave contract and arrange fair treatment through his brother Mercia. Compson firmly refuses, declaring his absolute loyalty and devotion to Vaughn, which embarrasses Vaughn but also highlights the depth of Compson's resolve. Their arrival is interrupted when they learn the village is under attack. Dee quickly assesses the attackers as experienced bandits or mercenaries, noting that the village's palisade offers little protection against arrows and that the enemy force numbers around 50 men. A heated discussion follows between Dee, the adventurer Ortho, and the Sparta about how to respond. Dee insists on fighting to protect the villagers, while Ortho prioritizes minimizing risk to his comrades. Sparta proposes a tactical plan using his elemental magic to erect a defensive wall, draw enemy attention, and allow coordinated flanking attacks. When Sparta suggests acting as a decoy, Vaughn refuses to allow his retainers to sacrifice themselves. He argues that losing Sparta and Dee would doom the village's future and put his own life at risk politically. Vaughn instead declares that he will serve as the decoy himself, riding in openly to draw enemy focus while the others attack from both sides. Despite objections from Till and Compson, Vaughn stands firm, expressing his belief that a lord's duty is to protect his people, even at the cost of his own life. His resolve deeply impresses Ortho and the adventurers, who decide to entrust their lives to him. The battle unfolds exactly as planned. Sparta's wall confuses the bandits, Dee and the knights strike from one flank, and the adventurers attack from the other, trapping the enemy in a pincer formation. Vaughn actively directs attention toward himself, drawing enemy aggression and preventing a breakthrough. The bandits are decisively defeated with no casualties on Vaughn's side, leaving the adventurers astonished by both the outcome and Vaughn's composure despite his age. After the battle, some adventurers depart, but Ortho, Pluriel, and others choose to stay, motivated by Vaughn's character and leadership. Upon entering the village, Vaughn formally introduces himself as their new lord and listens as the village chief Rhonda explains their repeated attacks and lack of protection since being absorbed into the Fertio March. Vaughn acknowledges the systemic failures of the kingdom and apologizes, then outlines 3 concrete paths to survival: creating valuable goods, earning money to hire mercenaries, and developing the village's defenses and infrastructure. Although the villagers are initially skeptical, Sparta and Dee vouch for Vaughn's background and abilities, easing their fears. When asked about taxes, Vaughn immediately reduces the burden from 30% to 10%, prioritizing survival and stability over revenue. This decision earns the villagers' gratitude and trust. Vaughn then initiates plans to reinforce the village with walls, moats, pitfalls, and traps, coordinating efforts between knights and villagers. Later, Vaughn begins testing his production magic in earnest. He explains how he senses and manipulates the fibers of wood at a microscopic level, weaving them into ultra-dense blocks that are lighter than expected yet harder than stone. The results shock everyone, especially when Ortho fails to scratch one with a sword strike. Vaughn shows no signs of mana exhaustion, suggesting his magic efficiency is abnormal. He also experiments with metal, creating multiple weapons and gifts a katana to Compson and a huge axe to Till. Recognizing the group's exhaustion from constant travel and lack of shelter, Vaughn decides to construct a house using production magic. With the village chief's approval, he selects a central location and methodically creates reinforced pillars, walls, floors, and a roof in a matter of moments. The completed structure astonishes everyone present, clearly surpassing expectations for something made by a child. Vaughn reflects that production magic, once thought useless, may in fact be the key to rebuilding and protecting the village, marking the true beginning of his rule. And that's it for this episode. Stay tuned for more. Thanks for watching.